Keto, the ketogenic diet, is as popular as it's ever been. Now keto's been around for years, but right now, everyone loves the keto diet. What is the keto diet, right? How can the keto diet benefit me? And how can the keto diet get me in shape? And surely eating all that fat is gonna make me fat. No! Here's why. Now, back in the day, back way before I was born, we were told fat is the enemy. Fat was demonized. We could not eat fat. We were told to have a low-fat diet. Carbs were a big portion of the Eat Well plate. A government plan or government guide to eating. Now, 2018, we've come full circle and people are realizing the benefit to little to no carbohydrates, higher fat and moderate protein. Now, when you eliminate carbs from your diet, your body becomes in a state of ketosis. This refers to the fact that it's not running on the carbohydrates, the glucose in your body. Instead, it's turning your fat, your fatty acids into ketones. Now these ketones replace the carbs as your energy source, your fuel. One benefit of being in a state of ketosis as opposed to consuming carbs is that it doesn't cause you to have fluctuations in your blood sugar levels. You do not spike insulin when you don't consume carbs. When you consume carbs, you get these fluctuations throughout the day, like these bursts of energies and these dips. You'll get cravings. You don't get that in keto or in a keto diet. Your blood sugar levels are stable. You have a steady, reliant energy source throughout the day, and you also lower the risk of diabetes, which closely links with the blood sugar levels with insulin. Now, having been on keto or on a keto diet numerous times, as I am right now, people often ask me, what diet are you doing? How can I do it, etc. Now, when people start keto, what I found is they never eat enough fat. They drop the carbs, they keep the protein the same, and they don't eat, they eat slightly more, but they eat nowhere near enough fat, because when you eliminate carbs, you need to replace that with fat. If you don't, you're going to crash and burn, and that's going to lead you to have a bad experience in keto. People always say to me, yeah, but I just struggled, I was too tired. Guaranteed, they were not eating enough fat. So, behind me now, I have some food sources, some of the things I eat on keto. Ignore that for now, that is Coca-Cola, zero sugar, and I'll explain why that's there in a moment. But what would I eat on a typical day on the keto diet? So, firstly, I want to explain that I intermittent fast throughout work. I'm a postman till around 1-2 o'clock. Now, I'm going to talk about intermittent fasting in another video. It closely links with being in a state of ketosis, because when you fast, you produce ketones. So intermittent fasting and keto are a great combination, but that's for another video. So when I get home, when I have meal number one, I will usually have an omelette. Now, this will consist of 4 or 5 eggs, keeping the yolks in, keeping the fat in. I will sometimes have some bacon. I will sometimes have some sausages. Now, you may have noticed these are Frankfurter sausages. As an English person, our sausages, the big thick sausages, you need to really look at the back of the packets, because generally speaking, those will have carbs in them. A lot more carbs than these. These are very low carb. These are pretty much made up of fat and protein. Reading the back of the packet now, per serving we have 5.3 grams of fat, we have 4.9 grams of protein, and we have 0.4 grams of carbs. So these aren't the healthiest choice, but realistically we're talking about an attainable, realistic diet, one that you're going to stick to. So that's my little fatty treat right there. Again, I'll explain to you the difference in fat sources, but a great little cheeky number in my omelette, with my eggs of course. I don't know why I should do eggs, you know what eggs look like, but yeah, so then I will have some cheese, some cheddar. If I just look at the packet now, here we go, carbohydrates, 30 grams contains 0.6 grams of carbs, it contains 10.3 grams of fat, 7.5 grams of protein. They're the sort of macros we're going to be aiming for in keto. So ideally, highest fat, then protein, very few carbs. So in an omelette, or I might have bacon instead of sausages, but that's my go-to coming home, my breakfast, even though it's a lunchtime meal. So meal 2, I will generally have tuna, good essential fatty acids off the tuna, fish oil's great. I'll mix the tuna in with a little bit of mayo, that's full fat mayo. Don't be fooled and go for the light mayo, because again, light anything means they bring the fat down and they bring the sugar, bring the carbs up. So full fat mayo, some olive oil. Olive oil is pretty much all fat, but it's good fat, it's good for the heart. Olive oil is great. Loads of leafy salad. Here we've got a bit of spinach, iceberg lettuce. I'll occasionally throw some cheese on there, even though I'm trying to get some good fat. One of the #1 sources of fat on the keto diet, and a great healthy source of fat, are avocados. Now avocados they taste lovely, can I just add, especially in with tuna, they taste awesome. So avocados, I don't have the macros of this avocado, but they are high fat, but a great natural source of fat. Now, obviously, when it comes to dieting, we're trying to lean up, we're trying to lose fat. However, also we want to look after our internal health, so that's why we're going for good fat sources. You could do keto pretty much on like cheese, bacon, mayo, those sort of things. However, again, remember that we want to be fit and healthy. This is fitness, this is health. Later on, meal, I might have some, these are frozen at the moment, I might have some chicken breasts. If I do have chicken, sometimes I'll generally wrap a piece of bacon around it, and I might put a layer of cheese in the middle. I think that's called hunter's chicken. I will mainly consume red meat in the evening, only because it is a little bit higher in fat. Animal fat is, people think animal fat's really bad for you. Animal fat is what we were consuming when we were cave people. I know we're not cavemen anymore, but it's what we were built, what we were here to sort of live on. So never fear animal fat. Obviously too much of anything can be a bad thing, but a nice piece of steak, for example, with lots of greens. Now, see, vegetables do have carbs in them, but green veg, very few carbs, and green veg, mainly made up of water really. It will leave you feeling full. You're getting those nutrients in there, so lots of broccoli, green beans, asparagus. I mean, I didn't mention in my tuna actually, I'll have some cucumber and stuff like that, but generally speaking, we want to go for green veg, green salad, green stuff, because you want to avoid things like tomatoes, because these tend to be a little bit higher in carbs, tomatoes being technically classed as a fruit, higher in sugar. So for me, or ideally on keto, we want to kind of avoid fruit, but we don't want to avoid our 5 a day. So get lots of green vegetables in you. So yeah, nice piece of steak with some green veg. That'll be my daily meals. I'll consume 3 meals throughout the day. If I want a snack, say I want a savoury snack, I will probably munch on these frankfurters or something along those lines. Say I want a slightly sweeter snack. See, now if you've got a sweet tooth, now keto is a little bit harder, because most sweet things obviously are high in sugar, carbohydrates. Now, almond milk, it says unsweetened, but now almond milk is one of those. I didn't really like it when I started consuming almond milk, but almond milk is really growing on me, and looking at the macros on the back, there's pretty much nothing apart from a gram of fat, a tiny bit of protein, 0 carbs, says nil. You can see that, absolutely nil. So I have a blended up shake of almond milk, a scoop of low carb whey protein powder with a few more almonds. Now you have to watch almonds because like most nuts, there are some carbs in there, you see. Now, even though there's 45 grams per 100 grams of fat, there's 6 grams of carbs, 25 grams of protein. So it is still really low carbs, but generally speaking, I would never allow myself to go over 50 grams of carbs a day. That's how I feel, that's where I should be. Now that keeps me in a state of ketosis, that keeps me running on fat, and it just works well for me. Also, if I'm craving something sweet, especially after like a meal, I will go for the Coca-Cola 0 sugar. Remember that. Don't be drinking normal Coke, that's like the worst thing you can do on keto. It's pure sugar, pure carbs. So I'll have probably have a couple of cans of these a day, to be fair. The caffeine's great. Caffeine in moderation is good for fat loss. So I will consume one of these with probably with my evening meal or after my evening meal. So like eliminate that feeling for a dessert. What do you do when it comes to carbs? Say you know we can realistically live without carbs, but say you want to have a cheat day, you want to have that pizza. Now, generally speaking, for me, I'll have a carb day every sort of 10 days to a month. At the moment, I'm being quite strict. I used to do cyclic ketogenic dieting. That's where I would do keto for like 5.5, 6 days, then have a carb day or a carb 36 hours. Now, the reason I don't do that anymore is because sometimes it can take up to a week for yourself, for your body, to get fully in ketosis. Now, when you throw carbs straight in the mix, you take yourself back out of ketosis, and then you've got to restart again and get yourself back into ketosis and in a state of using your body fat. So that's why I push my carb day to at least 10 days, just so that then I've got a longer period of time of being in ketosis. Now, if you want to have that 1 carb up day, that's something that a lot of people do. I mean, the cyclic ketogenic diet seems to be a good option when it comes to like bodybuilding and gym work, because it gives you that influx of glucose, you fill all your muscles up, and then you just deplete away at that glycogen as the week goes on. But it's kind of a different approach to the keto diet and the general ideology of being in ketosis. It's a little bit of it's more of a low carb, more of a carb cycling if you were just to have that 1 carb, 2 carb up days a week, for example. But right, I'm a guy that goes to a gym. When I don't eat carbs, my muscles are flat, and surely I need carbs to have those full, bulging muscles. Now, you're right to an extent. When you first go into ketosis at the beginning, your body's still in that transitional stage. You will find that your muscles look a little flatter without the carbs, without the sugar, without the glycogen storage in those guns. However, as time goes on, when you're in ketosis for a little longer, you've got to remember that you're not using that glycogen, that glycose as your energy source. So you will not be depleting the glycogen out your muscles, because you won't be using it as an energy source. You'll be using the ketones you're producing. So the very few carbs you eat on the keto diet, the few grams you might get from the almonds, the green veg, etc. Any little carb you do eat will be stored. You'll be far more carb sensitive. Your body won't be consuming as many carbs, so it'll really hold on to the carbs it does consume. And when you train, when you use your energy, obviously you're going to be using the fat as opposed to your carbohydrates. So give it time. The further you're in keto, your muscles will look full, trust me. I feel at the moment, I've been in keto for a few weeks and I haven't consumed any carbs, and I feel, although I'm not a big guy necessarily, I feel fairly full. My muscles don't look too stringy. I mean, I'm not as bulgy, but then my body fat is dropped from being on keto anyway. So what you think is muscle mass is often just stored water and loads and loads of shuttle glycogen in the muscle, but you've got that bloat and you've got everything else that comes with it. So step back, stick with the plan, reanalyze the situation in a couple of weeks' time, and honestly, I'm pretty certain you're going to be impressed with the results. So as of right now, I'm doing my 8-week home workout only transformation using doing no gym workouts, using purely home workouts along with my diet. Now the first 2 weeks were a little bit different. My diet was so horrendous before this transformation. The first week I was cutting just back on sugar, cutting out the crap, getting rid of my chocolate, sweets, etc., ice cream, cleaning up the diet, generally just easing myself back into the plan. Week 2, I brought the carbs down, went low carb, ready for week 3 and onwards when I've been in ketosis, high fat, moderate protein, 0 carb. Now, this is a diet I'll be following for as long as I can go really, but until my holiday in Tenerife, my diet is going to be purely keto. I'm sure on holiday I'll relax a bit, I may have some carbs, I won't be dieting, won't be following any protocol. However, when I get back, I'm going to reassess the situation. I'm going to try and put on a little bit of muscle. So although I'll still be doing keto, I may do a slight variation of keto, the one I've just mentioned, the cyclic ketogenic dieting, just to keep my weight up, because generally speaking I'm one of those guys that find it a lot harder to keep my weight up, find it easier to drop weight and lean up. Now, if you've enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you want to find out more about the keto diet, more about my transformation, my fitness journey, maybe you want to see some of my food challenges I've done. I've done some really un-keto food challenges prior to getting on this diet, and I'm sure I'll do them once my holiday's over as well. I'm going to be getting more keto videos up, and check out, it's my dog, or one of 3 dogs. Check out the intermittent fasting video coming up, and I'll see you soon.